when I was living in Ecuador, I spent a lot of time in rural areas. I don't think I told you this story. I don't think I said it, but maybe I did. And, people, I spent a lot of, I would travel with priests and nuns and religious, with laicos, as you say, laity workers, to really rural areas where sometimes the priest would go just once. And so what people knew of God and Christianity was that, they knew the basic story, right? The Christian story. God created the heavens and the earth and all of that, and God had a son and sent his son and to do whatever, to get people on the right path, you know what I mean? And so too often, many of the people had that kind of image of Jesus as a white guy with long hair and a beard and so on. And I was a white guy with long hair and a beard. And so sometimes we'd roll into these communities and people would go up to the priest and I'd be with the priest. Like, here's this guy coming in that looks like Jesus. And people would say, hey, is that him? Like, is that Jesus? And let me tell you, man, there's nothing more awesome, daunting, and bizarre than people thinking that you're Jesus Christ. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Hey, but we are going to talk about religion today, and I'm going to talk as a sociologist, right? So those of you who have particularly strong, if you happen to have strong beliefs one way or another or whatever, okay, that's fine. It does, we'll just go with it. But I didn't know what I was going to call. I want to talk about women and God, and men and God, and I just thought I like to come up with interesting titles. So I called it playing favorites, because it's as though God's playing favorites, men and women. And you might think, see that's kind of absurd, and maybe, you don't think about God as a man, or being a man or a woman, or trans, or whatever the case is, doesn't really matter to God, because God's not like that. Well, what I will say to you is, if that's the case, then never use the masculine pronoun for God. Stop using it. And try for a while using the feminine pronouns. Refer to God as a she and a her. Because if it doesn't matter that you use he, and you talk about mankind, and God loves me, and God, he wants me to do this, and God, all that kind of stuff, well, you start saying she, and see how that is, and see how it feels. But as it is, from my perspective as a sociologist, it would appear as though either God's playing favorites, or men have something. I don't know, something. Let me talk about it. So here, let me start at this place. So this is Sharia law is code of conduct. Is a code of conduct. Sharia law references Islam and codes of conduct, or a code of conduct for Muslims. Okay, and Sharia law is this idea that in this book right here, the Quran, the Holy Quran, is what is necessary for human beings to live a good life, and to live a moral life, and to live an ethical life, and to live a life that would be the life that God and Allah wants us to live. Okay? And so the idea is that there are Muslims who take this book and they translate in the Quran. You know about the Quran, right? So can I be clear about a couple of things here? So first off, Muslims, Jews, and Christians all worship the same God. And the first five, the Torah for Jews, it's the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Okay? The Old Testament is sometimes called the Hebrew Bible. So those of you who are Christians understand and you know what that is. Okay? The idea, for those who don't know, is that in the Old Testament it's predicted that God is going to return to earth and God will send a Savior or a Messiah who will then teach people to get on the right path, the righteous path, the straight path, as Muslims say. And so Christians have the idea that that person came in the form of Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus Christ. Jesus, who was born a Jew, he died a Jew. He died thinking that he was Jewish, but over time he got turned into what we now refer to as a Christian. Okay? So Christians and Jews worship the exact same God. Muhammad comes along 6 centuries later and has revelations. And these revelations get turned into the Quran. Muslims believe in the Jewish gods. Abraham is Noah. All of the Jewish gods are the Jewish, I would say, patriarchs, I should say, not the Jewish gods, the Jewish patriarchs. All of them are in this book right here. Jesus is in this book right here. Jesus is probably mentioned more than anybody else in this book for Muslims. So for Muslims, Judaism is truth. Christianity is a higher truth because it's about the Messiah that came. But then Muhammad was the final Messiah. And that's the idea that Muslims have, okay? So Muslims also have this idea that, hey, we can take this book right here and we can turn it into a code of conduct for human beings. Now, the problem with a code of conduct is codes of conduct get very, very complex. Because codes of conduct are obviously need to address a wide range of human behavior. Not only in one place in the world, but every place in the world. In this book, this version right here is 464 pages long. And you understand that just in the United States alone, we have like 10 million laws on our books at different levels. So how are we going to adjudicate codes of conduct with this? It's very difficult. But yet, people try. Okay? Well, it's not just Islam. So Christians have the same idea. Jews have the same idea of using the Torah to adjudicate codes of conduct among Jews. The difference with Jews is that Jewish people, it's all based on the way that they kind of argue this out or they determine what is the right path is just through argumentation. And which is why really I feel like in my past life I was born Jewish for sure. If I could be reincarnated, I would like to be Jewish because I just like that idea of arguing about a wide range of things. So listen, this is from Isaiah, right? So this is God. This is the word, a prophecy of God who's saying to people, okay, listen, go ahead. Go ahead and jump off the deep end and let me show you. Go down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, O daughter of Chaldea. For you will no longer be called tender or delicate. Right? Take millstones and grind flour. Remove your veil. Strip off your skirt. Bare your thigh and wade through the streams. This is God speaking to the people. Your nakedness will be uncovered and your shame will be exposed. And I, God, will take vengeance. I will spare no one. So lift your skirt so that we can see your thigh. Okay? Go ahead and do that. But just wait. Because I'm going to take vengeance. Like, oh, shit. Like, whoa. Okay. So women. Because if you're Christian if you're Jewish, even if you're Muslim. It's like, so what do you do there, my friends? How do you decide what it is? Well, luckily, you got a bunch of Christians out there. They're going to help you out. So here it is. I pulled this from Christian websites. Now, you get an actual x-ray of a knee telling you the thigh begins right there. It's like, oh, thanks, man. So I got to decide whether I'm going to risk the vengeance of God, but I can just go to these Christian websites and they're going to hook me up, man. I'm good. I'll follow the website. I'm good. I can go right to here. It's all good. This is a biblical view on modesty and women's clothing. Right here. Oh, okay, so you got to deal with these curves because women, you're going to have to deal with these curves in your bodies. So here it is. So you should wear a dress where we don't see your bum. Let it fall straight down. So see that? Okay, so we don't see your bum. Because men, or other women, but let's just assume men. Or here, we don't want to see your breasts. We don't want to see them sticking out because that's taunting. And God's saying hey man, you're going to be uncovered that way because we're going to see your breasts. So you got to wear something that falls straight down so we don't see the underside of your curve. See, so Christians are on this stuff, right? So they're reading this thing here. Here's the Bible. You got these people reading this, and they're all interpreting it, going whoa, we got to figure this out because this is God. God is saying, I'm coming down. She's really throwing down the gauntlet, y'all, right? If you take this stuff seriously, I'm just going to say God as a she, because why not, right? So she's going to throw down the gauntlet. So damn. So now you got all these Christians who are going to try to figure this out. And they're going to start arguing over it. They're going to decide, well, what does that mean, the thigh? So these people think it means this right here. And other people say, no, that's we're not taking, obviously, since many of you are Christians, if I was downtown at midnight a couple weeks ago, and I watched all these presumably mostly Christian women walking around oh, damn, man. I'm I had to avert, I'm an old man, you know what I mean? I can't, I'm just trying to be like this. I'm damn. Clearly, all of these Christian women who are half naked aren't reading this verse, or they've just interpreted it in a different way. And so what happens is that Jews, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, it doesn't matter. We get these holy texts, and whoever has the pulpit, whoever has the microphone, as I do right now, we just decide what that means. So you all here at Penn State just decide, yeah, we can wear these shorts, cut-off shorts, right up, halfway up our butt. Okay, that's cool. And I can still be a Christian and I can do that. But other people are going damn. Oh, that's not very Christian. You can't do that. But you've decided you can. Because you read this all differently. And same with Muslims in the Quran. Everyone just decides differently. It just depends on who you are and where you are and how you want to do it, and you all make that decision. Okay? It's awesome. But the problem is we're fighting over it. We're fighting over it. And the first thing that's really important, because we're going to talk about Islam today, what's really important is that Islam is no different than any other of these religions, sociologically speaking. People have a holy text. And now I'm just looking at Christianity and Islam because these are the two largest religions in the world. It's the same religion as far as, okay, hang on. I'm going to speak as a sociologist right now, okay? It's the same religion as far as Sam the sociologist is concerned. It's the same thing. You have a holy text and you got to figure out what the hell it means and how you're going to decide and how you're going to act. So let me show you a couple things about men and women. These are Amish women. These are all Christians, right? These are Amish women. There were some handing out some literature across from the hub, you little kids, which is kind of cool. Here's a Catholic priest. A nun. Here's a Mormon woman. See, you don't see their bum. You don't see the curves on their bodies because they've decided that they need to interpret this in a particular way. And there are many, many conservative Christians, not only today, but over the years, who have made that determination. And go to the next slide. So these are Hasidic Jewish women. And so, you don't see their hair. And even if you saw their hair, they're very likely to be wearing a wig. And the idea is you don't show your hair to public. You don't show it to other people. These are Orthodox Jews. It's a thing. You don't do that. And I had a friend, for example, really, you'd show it to your husband. You show it to your partner, but you don't show it to the world. It's it's a sensuous thing, which is actually kind of cool. I want to tell this story, but I don't know if I have time, but I'll just tell it really fast. I had a Muslim friend who had a friend who was an Orthodox Jew, and wore just very much there was nothing sensual about this person. Sensual in the way that you would think about sensuality. But the Jewish woman invited the Muslim woman up to her bedroom, where only the Jewish woman and the Jewish husband ever goes. And she said it was like a room of total sensuality. So here's this Jewish woman who looks like this, and you think oh my God, she's completely asexual. It's no, man. She reserves that for one room in the house for one person. It's oh. And so this Muslim woman said, that was really cool. That was really cool, right? So she's Muslim. She's Jewish. And which you don't, think about very much. She's Haredi Jew. There are about 2 million Haredi Jews in the world. And what she's wearing here is called a frumka. So this woman's Jewish, right? It looks like a burqa, but it's called a frumka. And frum means very devout in Yiddish. And the ka comes from burqa. So it's like a total covering. So she looks like a Muslim woman in a total burqa. And then these are Hindu women from Rajasthan. So wearing the veil and this kind of thing and being very conservative in the way one dresses is also, we see this in Buddhist religions and Hindu religions. Bro.
Yeah, what do they do for a living?
What do they do for a living?
Yeah,
I'm sure they do a lot of different things. It's very possible she probably doesn't work. She doesn't work. She doesn't work outside the home. She works in the home. They mostly work inside the home, but, Hasidic Jewish women will work outside the home too, but she definitely doesn't work outside the home. She's different. That's a Muslim woman. But you understand. So as we're going to talk today, we're going to talk a little about covering today. We're going to talk about women's rights. And now I want to go back to this idea of playing favorites. It seems like whoever's either writing this stuff or whoever's interpreting this stuff is men. Because I don't see, there's no religion anywhere where men are covered from top to bottom, man. I don't see that anywhere. Playing favorites. So somehow God's playing, I don't know. Or men have just decided that they know what God's saying. And I think women also decide, and we see in these societies where women have been in control. And throughout history, there are many, many epochs in which women are in control, man. It's more of a recent thing where we see men really kind of grabbing the reins of power. But it's just kind of fascinating to me. And so if you want to think about, by the way, as feminists, and if you're in this classroom, you are a feminist, by the way. And basic conditions of feminism, if you want to if you think about it in the following way, feminism is just fundamentally this essential belief that men and women are essentially equal. Maybe not in the way that the amount of strength that people have on average, but men and women are essentially equal and should be given essentially the same rights as one another. That's feminism. So women can drive, women can wear shorts, women can wear watches, women can work outside the home, women can study engineering or science or sociology, or women can stay home and take care of kids if they want. They can have kids, not have kids, just like men, doesn't matter. That's feminism. That's foundational. And if you believe those things, then you're a feminist. And so maybe you've created some argumentation in your mind, but that's not what people mean by feminism. Well, that's just a bunch of bullshit that people came up with. That's feminism. So you can call yourself a feminist. And so it makes me wonder then about God. Clearly, the men who are writing this stuff are deciding that maybe God isn't a feminist or something. I don't know, man. Here, go to the next one. I just put this up because I want to show you a couple of things. The body, hey, by the way, is this all right, bro? Is this all right? Are you interested? Yeah. I don't usually, is it all right? Is it interesting? I don't usually talk very much. So today I'm talking a little bit, and then we're going to have some volunteers. Dude, is it all right? Can I keep talking? Should I keep talking? All right. So listen, man. All right, dude, I'll keep talking. So, historically, we live in a time when the politics of the body have shifted a great deal. But traditional peoples, traditional ways, traditional cultures across the board have not shown a lot of skin, except in warm climates. We see that. And so so if you look at this Japanese woman wearing this traditional kimono, it's a similar kind of thing, right? You notice how you don't see the curve of her body. You don't see, there's no curves whatsoever, and it's really just this cloak that just hangs over her. And this is really one of the most traditional dresses. This is in the Joseon period in Korea. This is what a Korean woman would wear. And then I want to show you the hair thing, which is very cool. So Confucius had the idea that, and many cultures have the idea, that you shouldn't adulterate or you shouldn't just harm the body in any way. You shouldn't do anything to the body. So there are no cuts, there are no tattoos. There's no tattoos of any sorts. I don't mean modern day. I mean historically tattoos, right? You don't reshape the body. You don't cut the hair. You don't do anything. You just leave the body. This is God's gift. And so, wait, hang on one second. So you do nothing with the body. And so in traditional Korean culture, we see a very similar thing, like people growing their hair really long. Of course, it's really hard to grow hair really long because that gets really heavy. And so, of course, people cheat, and they find ways to do it. And so they cut the hair off, and then they wear these wigs that they're made out of human hair and out of horse hair and out of different hairs. And so you find different ways to do it. And all these styles of hair. So in like traditional Korean culture, you just see these really beautiful hairstyles that come from growing hair long. The men, same thing. And men would wear their hair up on the top of their head. And hence, this traditional Korean hat that people wore for many centuries, right? Which is pretty wild. And notice the little hair under there. It's kind of cool, right? Because you're trying to decide according to your religious scriptures, whether it's Abraham or Jesus, or Muhammad, peace be upon him, or whoever, or Confucius, or the Buddha, or whoever it is. You're trying to figure out like how to do this. And we argue over it, and we fight over it. And this is a sick guy. Is someone in class sick? Is there someone in class who's sick? I thought there was. I thought I saw someone with a turban. Nobody? So the reason sick, some people, we say Sikh, but it's pronounced sick. So this he's sick, okay? And so it's a relatively small religion, and in South Asia. And, at a certain point, you stop cutting your hair. And so when you see somebody wearing a turban in this way, his hair is all wrapped up inside of that. And it's pretty awesome. And so that's what's going on here. Like, people are trying to figure out how to manage this. And so we're going to talk about that today, like how we manage it and how we should manage it and what makes sense. Okay, dude. Wait, hang on. Let me take that. Can you give him a bro, you have a question, man.
Is there a religion that you know of that doesn't favor one gender over the other?
Not a major. Yeah, there are religions that in the text it doesn't. Like in Buddhism it doesn't, but in Taoism it doesn't, but it comes out that way. But in the practice of it, when men, whoever it is that gets in control of deciding how you're going to take this text and you're going to implement it in the world, how people are going to live with it, it somehow seems that it falls onto the people who are making those decisions have more power and more privileges. It hasn't always been the case with men, but it certainly is mostly men. Yeah. Which is kind of bizarre to me. Yeah, bro.
So in the last examples you've shown, I've seen a general theme of people devoting themselves to the purity of something.
Yeah.
Either hiding themselves from the world and sharing it only with those specific people.
Yep.
Or in this, like, instead of hiding their form, they don't change it at all.
Yeah.
And it's all in these ancient, very old cultures that are all really separated and wouldn't really have a way of talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where do you think this idea came from, and where did it go? Because I feel like that's not as much prevalent.
This is such a good question. Yeah. You know, it's not like, and so the idea is that you get two ways in which cultural practices will spread around the land. It either starts in one place and it just gets diffused out into the world, or it pops up in these different areas of the world, and it's very similar. And this is one of the things that we see popping up in different areas of the world. And I think it's because human beings, we don't know how to live with our bodies and how to live with our bodies in connection to the God. You know, the God is the God. You know, y'all, like, you got to understand, like, you may not think about God very often, but when you're living right next to life and death, and like every day is like, am I going to live? Am I going to die? And you're watching death all around you day after day after day. God is daunting. And you don't know the science behind why some things happen. You can only imagine that it's like it comes from God and it's a wrath. The current hurricane that just struck Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, man, you can only imagine that comes from God. It's like you got to keep your gods happy. You know, you got to like figure this out. And so human beings forever have been trying to figure that, like, how to do that. How do we keep our gods happy? How do we do it in a way that makes sense? Hey, by the way, go to the next one. I just want to say this because I don't have any other place to say this, but I want to say it here. You know, in the U.S. in particular, we see it around the world. We see headscarves. But we also see this, especially in the U.S., especially in the South, especially in black communities in the South, that emerged out of slave communities. And this largely emerged what are called Tignon laws. And in 1786, the Louisiana governor had decided, hey, because slaves in Louisiana, in southern Louisiana, could buy their freedom. And so now you get these slaves, especially mulatto slaves, especially slaves that were half white, half black, or some percentage that weren't fully black, fully African. But somehow now going out into the world, it's like you got to find some way to control the black population. And so the governor passed these Tignon laws so that anybody with any black blood whatsoever, women, would have to wear these scarves. And so everyone would know who black people were. Even if you were 95% white, it didn't matter. You had to wear the scarf. And so these scarves then became really dominant and really popular, and I think continue to be really popular today. But in the United States, that's the origin of those, by the way. It had nothing to do with religion. All right, so listen, let's go. I want to talk about Afghanistan. And y'all are reading for a moment, I want to talk about Afghanistan. You all watched that one video in class or for the quiz. If you didn't watch it, you're going to watch it about women in Afghanistan, and I want to give you just a little bit of background, if I could. So you just kind of, hopefully you read the one thing that I wrote on the website, but in Islam, it's the same as Christianity. Today, we see much more variation in the forms of acceptance and peace, and then groups who have decided that the way to impose Islam or carry it out is very violent, right? And mind you, there are many Christian extremists in the world today, and like the Lord's Army in the Democratic Republic of Congo is responsible for about 500,000 deaths, and these are Christians, right? But we're just in a period of time when Islam has just gotten really stirred up. And so we just see like this random violence and terrorism and that's coming out of the Muslim community. And it's really a pretty recent thing. If you study Christianity, you don't have to go back very far to see the violence that was committed by Christians. The Crusades, in which millions and millions and millions of people died. Nazi Germany, the Nazis were all Christians. Like, they weren't Christians. You can't be a Christian and go kill 11 million people. But Nazis worshiped in Christian churches. They were all Christians. The people that killed 6 million Jews and 5 million other people in the middle part of the 20th century were all Christians. Now again, they weren't really Christians, because you can't be a Christian and commit heinous acts like that. I mean, that for me, like if you say, are you Muslim? Yeah. So if you say you're Muslim and you're like, yeah, and I'm going to go out and commit jihad and I'm going to set some bombs or something somewhere. I'm like, dude, well, hang on. The moment you say that, you're no longer Christian or Muslim. So, like, you can't call yourself Muslim there. So the same thing would be true with the Nazis. They're all Christians. But nobody today says, oh my God, I can't be, the horrible Christians. They killed so many millions of people. It's estimated that Christians killed in the 20th century, Christians killed about 100 million people between World War I, World War II, Korean, on and on and on. Okay? 100 million people. But nobody says, I can't be a Christian because I killed that many people. Well, today, you can't look at individual Muslims and say Muslims are bad. You can say to any individual Muslim, like, well, that Muslim's clearly not a Muslim and clearly is a really bad person, because they're using violence to get across some idea. It's like, you can't do that. There's nothing Muslim about that. Well, there's nothing Christian about the things that Christians do to commit these heinous actions. But today, it's easier, because of where we stand here in the United States, to look at Muslims who we know very little about, and there's this idea that there's something really narrow about the Muslim community. And then we look at something like this, like these Taliban. Who are these troglodytes? Bro. Do you know what a troglodyte is?
I have no idea.
It's someone who lives in a cave, basically. Yeah? Dude, all right. Troglodytes are like living in caves. And it's like these, so what you have are these men in this region of Afghanistan and Pakistan and so on, most of whom are illiterate, most of whom couldn't even read the Quran because they are illiterate. They've never read the Quran. They have no idea what it says and how it says. And so somebody tells them, and then they join this militia group and they move on and they start doing all sorts of things. It's very similar to people who believe that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, when not a single person who studies elections in the United States, who studies them carefully. And it's like, like for 40 years, I've been carefully studying and thinking about all these issues that I talk about in here. So imagine I spent 40 years studying election fraud in the United States, and that's all I studied. And I get together with all my friends who study this, and we're like checking it all over the country, and we're watching it, and we're assessing things, and we say, there's very little fraud in that election, actually, which they say. The degree to which there was fraud benefited Republicans, half of it benefited Democrats. It's just individuals. It's like, okay. But now you got these people who know nothing about it, but all they did was get on their phone and they looked at some video of somebody talking about something and go, oh, shit. Yeah, look at that. They're carrying election ballots out of the election place in Tucson, Arizona. That's what that is, because that's what they just told me. It's like, oh, there's election fraud. And then we're pretty soon on January 6th in 2021, I'm crashing into the Capitol building. Based on what? Based on what? Nothing, because I don't know shit. Because I don't study it. I don't pay attention to it. I know nothing at all. And now I'm talking about some of your fathers, your uncles, your grandfathers, your mothers, whoever it is, right? I know nothing. Well, that's how these troglodyte Taliban are. They don't know anything about the Quran, but they've just decided that, hey, women can no longer dress like this, which is how women in Afghanistan were dressing in 1972. That they come into power in around 1995, and now women have to wear the burqa. If they leave their house, they got to dress like this. And they can't go out without men, because we, the Taliban, have decided that we understand, we interpret the Quran. And the Quran says something about wearing veils, if you want to know. But it's kind of like what the Bible says about wearing veils and being covered. It's like, doesn't say much. So these men decide, okay, women are going to dress like this. Like, ah, shit. And they have the guns, and they have the power. So that's what happens. And then we say, because we don't know, and we say, oh, look at those Muslims. Those people are nuts. Can you go to the next slide? Here are the Taliban. This is them in the president's office on the day that they took over the Capitol in Kabul. My friend who I spoke with on that day watched these photos and these videos, my Afghan friend, and he cried. It's like look at these guys. Again, most of them, they're illiterate, most of them. They don't know anything. They're illiterate in the same way that most of the Americans who think there was election fraud are illiterate, meaning they know nothing about the data. You might be able to read websites, but you know nothing about the data. You really have no idea. They have no idea what's going on. These guys have no idea what the Quran says. So, now, go to this next slide. So this is from the New Testament. It's disgraceful for a wife to cut off her hair and shave her head. Let her cover her head. These are Christian women. I'm looking at all you Christian women in here. I thought, are you Christians? Like, what the hell? For a man ought not cover his head, since he is the image and glory of God, but woman is the glory of man. I love this, right? Taking sides, baby. Men. Plain favorites. Whoever wrote that was not a woman. Got it? So how do you interpret that, men? So now imagine that you got a group of men. The United States goes over the edge and we become this really radical Christian society, which very easily could happen. Okay? And now with radical Christianity, because there are a lot of Christians in this country that would like to impose a radical version of Christian Shia law on the United States. And they're going to decide, okay, what does this mean? Well, what's it mean? Well, I might be one of those radical dudes, and what it means is every single woman, everywhere she goes, has to have her hair covered. Okay, well, that's what these radical Taliban are saying. Well, that's what radical Christians would say. The same thing. You see how it is? You see how, like, if you really want to understand what's going on, you got to look in a mirror and see yourself. So we could argue a long time about this. And go to the next slide. One final thing is, I just saw this today. Banning books. These are all Christians banning books because they've decided, hey, our good Christian children in a good Christian society shouldn't be reading books like this. Okay. Got it. Well, next it'll be covering your hair. And next it'll be something else. And next it'll be every good Christian has to wear a gun on their side. So they can, like, pow, pow, shoot up all the bad sinners. All right, so I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. You want to sit? You can sit up here. I think it's good. Yeah. Hey, this is Mariam. And what I want to tell you, Mariam's from Afghanistan. And wait, yeah, you better fix that up. Come on, you're on camera.
Hello, how are you? I hope everyone is doing great. This is Mariam from Afghanistan. I just moved to State College 1 month now. And I just moved from Afghanistan like 2 months ago. I have been 1 month in Pakistan. So I'm very happy and delighted that today I'm here and I'm talking to this class. Wow. Oh my God.
So listen, let me say, I want to tell you, hey, come on. I want to tell you a couple things about Mariam, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Okay? Yep. Mariam, in this video that you watched, remember the prison where she went in? She was looking for this young woman named Mariam in the prison in the video. Right? Remember that scene? And the family asked her to find this young woman named Mariam. And if you haven't watched it, you're going to watch it. And so that's in Herat. Mariam is from Herat. So the young woman who was thrown in prison for evil behavior, or I don't know what it was, sinful behavior, would be you. Because Mariam here was a women's activist. And so at one point, the Taliban threatened her. And we were able to get her she was able to get out of Afghanistan. And she had to go to Pakistan, which is very dangerous to go to Pakistan by yourself. Got a visa and is now in graduate school here at Penn State University. And luckily got out. But those women who were imprisoned in Afghanistan, the women who were imprisoned that you see in that video, those are her friends. Not literally, but that's her. That's like her friends. And like, that's intense. So, Mariam. So I just want to set that up for you, that it's just the fact that you are here, just like those women in the video could be here, but you are here. And awesome, man. You're just an awesome being. So here's what I want to ask you. Tell us when the Taliban came into power, man. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what were you? Hey, wait, by the way, does anyone have a baseball cap?
Yep, that's this guy because it's like.
Can I see your hat?
Yep.
Mariam's been wearing a baseball. Let's see how you look at this. Like,
Yeah.
just as an FU to the Taliban, too. Yeah. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, Penn State. Yeah, you got it, man. All right. How was that? Like, how was it to be you so you just graduated college.
Yeah.
You're a women's activist. Like, you're you, man. They already got your energy, right? And now you got these men coming saying you can't leave your house. How was that?
Actually, the day that our country fell to devil Taliban, and it was scary. I was thinking about that, how fast we just lost our everything. When I'm thinking everything, for me as a woman means everything. On that day or at evening, I was thinking that how in a second we just went to 20 years back.
Yeah.
20 years back, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. I am not remembering anything exactly. But I heard that sometimes my moms, my dads were telling me that, yeah, when it was Taliban period, they weren't able to go out My mom was telling me when it was Taliban period, she wasn't able to go out alone. She always.
Wait, hang on. She couldn't leave the house alone.
Yeah.
Without your dad or
Yeah,
another
because
male
I'm not
relative.
partner. Yeah, she was talking about that, and she was telling me that I wasn't able to study. My mom is also illiterate. She couldn't study because she was living in Afghanistan and she doesn't have an opportunity to study.
Okay, hang on. I just
Yeah.
want to hold this. So let's be really clear here, right? These men, the first time they came into power, this is the second time. This was just last August,
Yeah.
a year ago, August. The first time they came into power, they swept in. They decided, hey, we, even though most of us are illiterate and we can't read it, but we're going to believe the 1 or 2 or 5 people who says, like, this is how we should run society. Women, stay in the house. You're not allowed to leave unless you're with a male relative. Women can't go to school. Girls can't go to school. Only boys can go to school. You know, you can't have music. You can't have television. You can't have all sorts of things. Kites, for some reason. Fucking kites. Okay. Okay, so your parents are telling you, oh, here they come again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were telling me that, I was thinking with myself, oh my God, like what will happen to me, to my future, specifically for me and my younger sister. It was all okay with like boys because still they just have the opportunity to like go whatever they want, but it was totally different for girls. So I was kind of like not an activist that were like doing so much activities, but yeah, I never like missed any single opportunity to work for women and youth in Afghanistan. And I was thinking about that, like what like will happen if I do nothing and stay home forever. And it happened actually. It happened like when it like passed for a week, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was only at home. I was kind of person that, and I'm still am. I'm kind of like person that I cannot stay at home a single day and doing nothing. And I was like, I was only breathing. I wasn't like living the life. And that, yeah.
Hang on. Listen. Y'all, women and men, for your mothers, your grandmothers, your sisters, your girlfriends, okay? Imagine tomorrow you can't leave the house. You're in. And for the foreseeable future, you're not going out. Unless you're with a man, and even then, it can be dangerous. Like, you're not going out by yourself. So just hold that for a second, right? Just hold that. So what I'm hearing from you is like that moment, that realization, that, oh shit realization. Like, what is my life going to be? Mm-hmm. You, who's this like ball of energy, right? What is my life?
Yeah.
So did you go into a depression?
Yep. I went to a very like a deep and dangerous depression. I'm kind of person that I'm always smiling, and no one can believe that, yeah, Mariam, you got depression. It's unbelievable. Even I myself couldn't believe that, yeah, oh my God, it's me. It is Mariam that is staying at home all the day, doing nothing. And still for me it was good because I was graduated from university, I was graduated from school. I kind of could handle everything that, yeah, I just can keep myself busy with doing some online programs or something. What I was thinking and made me like, oh my God, it is like trouble that about thinking about my younger sister and all her girls that is in her age. Secondary school is totally off for all Afghan girls now. Those who are graduated from 6th grade up to the 12th grade, they are not allowed to go to school from the day that this like crazy men like entered to the country. I was thinking about that, yeah. I can handle, I'm able to handle my mood, but those teenager girls who are not able to just go out, they are not allowed to go to school, what will happen to them? And we are living this now. At the moment that I'm talking about this, at the moment it is more than 1 year that our schools are off, and girls cannot go to school. Boys can go to school, but girls cannot go to school. Imagine that. What's happening? It is not for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or a week or a month. It is gonna be forever. It is 1 year past, but still no girls can go to school.
So it's forever unless we somehow get these people out of power.
Yep.
And the first time what happened was because of 9/11 in the United States, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan and we kicked these guys out of power the first time. Then we spent 20 years battling them so they wouldn't come back into power. And in the end, we just kind of threw our hands up in the air and said, we can't do this anymore. And then here they are once again, right? And this is such an extreme version of Islam. Like this book right here, you have to be illiterate and you have to be maniacal to impose the ideas that they impose on a society. But this is not Islam. Like this is a very tiny sect. Just like in Christianity, there are really, really tiny sects of people who would do this, who would be perfectly fine doing this.
Yep.
Right? And every religion can find it. This happens to be the manifestation in Afghanistan.
Yep, exactly the word that you said, extremism Islam. Like it is the thing that I was thinking with myself, and I'm still thinking that Islam is not what these people are doing and what these people are acting. It is an extreme Islam, and I don't accept this. I'm a Muslim girl. I accept this, and it is totally my own right or own my choice if I wear this scarf or no. It is my, I should, before a Muslim girl, I'm a human. And every human being should have the right to choose her own lifestyle, her well-being or anything. So, these people are forcing girls that, as a girl, as a woman, you should. They force women.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have for fear of punishment. Women are thrown in prison.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. What the reason I had you I borrowed the hat from this guy is because so you came to Penn State.
Yeah.
You know, you wear a scarf here and there, and then recently I've been seeing you in a hat a lot. So it's cool. You look great in a hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that? How?
Yeah, it's my choice.
Yeah.
I like it, and I like it too. Here in Penn State, in the United States, in anywhere in the world, I am free to do what I want. I am free to wear this, or I am free I have the right to put on this only. It's my own choice. I feel very good when I wear my scarf.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. But when I was in Afghanistan, I was forced to wear a long veil, a long hijab, and it was I dislike this long hijab, long veil. What I should wear something that I don't like.
Listen, so wait, so before, when you left for Pakistan, and the reason she had to go to Pakistan was because the only place where she could get a visa, or where she could have an interview with the U.S. consulate. Were you wearing a long gown? You had to wear that when you went out?
Yeah. When I left, the day that I left Herat, I had a long black veil.
Whoa.
When I was in Afghanistan, in the airport from Herat to Kabul. And the other thing that made me feel so worried about that, I was alone. my brother or my father wasn't with me, and just I was thinking about what will happen to me if one of Taliban forces stop me and ask me where is your like male partner. That is why I just managed to talk to some of some of families there, in case if anyone asks you with whom you are, just please tell them that yeah, she is our girl. But fortunately, when I like left the country, there was no case. Fortunately, I was lucky, and here I just had a very chit chat talk on my WhatsApp with my auntie who is studying in Afghanistan in university. University are not off, but they are in a very like bad situation that the Taliban forces who are controlling who is entering the university check who is entering the university and what like the lady is wearing. My aunt just sent this photo to me. She just asked me, how are you? How is it everything going in United States? Did you like found yourself like pretty?
So this is what you'd be wearing right now.
You
would be if you were there.
Yep. Yeah.
Damn.
I was just. She just sent this text, this picture to me that it is me. It is me that we should wear this when we enter to the entering the university, and they are controlling the ladies when they are students, female students when they are entered to the university. And I was feeling, how can you tolerate? Then for a second I was thinking with myself, just 2 months ago, I was there.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I wasn't able to choose what should I wear. This style is not acceptable in Afghanistan. It is not acceptable now in Afghanistan. That Taliban just will definitely stop me, and they will not talk to me directly. They will not talk to me directly.
They won't talk to you.
They will talk to my family, to my dad. They will talk to my dad. Yeah, she's your girl. She doesn't know what to wear. It is pretty common issue in Afghanistan that when they a problem, they will definitely talk to a man or some male in the family and just talking to them that guide her or something like that.
Hey, listen, I want to invite 3 more people up so you can. Do you want to sit here with us?
I'm good. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Have a seat. Have a seat on the end. Thanks. Okay. Hey, wait for Mariam. Awesome. Dude, is that? I mean, it's so intense, right? It's so intense. Here, I'm gonna. Hey, so what? So introduce yourselves and say where you're from.
Hello, my name is Farah and I'm from Kuwait.
From Kuwait.
Hello.
Wait. Yeah, listen up. Yeah, there you go.
Hello, my name is Noor Al-Sair. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm a freshman studying sociology.
Yeah, you're good.
And hi, my name is Kauthar. I'm also from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so here's my question. So what has stuck out to you from what I was saying and what Mariam was saying? Has anything really jumped out for you?
I saw the video actually of the Afghanistan, the video about the Taliban. And I get what you were saying when you were the hijab shouldn't be forced, you shouldn't be forced to wear it, because in the end, there's no point of wearing it if you're not convinced, if you don't even know the reasoning behind it. So everything happening in Afghanistan actually goes against Islam and what it preaches.
Yeah, I guess that's true of so much religion, right? People follow it, but they have no idea why. You know what I mean? I drink the wine and I eat the bread and I don't know, I do it. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's intense. So you're not hijabi. I mean, you're not back in Kuwait, are you?
No, we don't have any like rules of what we can wear in Kuwait, so I'm not.
Your mom, and women in your family?
There are some women that are, some women aren't. My mom isn't.
Uh-huh.
In the end, it's a choice, and when you're committed, when you're ready to commit, you do it.
Did you ever think about it?
I do intend of wearing it in the future.
Yeah?
I'm not ready to commit honestly yet, but all I have to do is work towards it and pray that God guides me towards it, because I do want to wear it in the future.
And for what reason? Like, what do you see for you? By the way, it's cool, right? Like, and for what reason? This is such, listen to her aunt, this is such a cool, just what? What do you mean, God guide you? Like, what do you see? What's the possibility?
So basically, it's like the whole idea behind wearing a hijab is modesty. And it's like, I really like the idea behind it. And I'm not saying this as a Muslim. It's like, it's to show that women are more than their physical appearance. They're more than what they seem to be. And I really like the idea behind that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, how is it for you to see, like, have you been out like on Thursday or Friday or Saturday night here?
Yeah.
Well, how is
It's
that
like-
for you?
It's not new to me because like we have TikTok and we have Instagram and we have social media, so we're already like introduced to these things and movies and TV shows. So I'm not surprised, honestly.
Dude, no, I have it too, but when I'm walking down the street, sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, like, Jesus. Yeah. Seriously, y'all, I feel like I'm in a porn shoot or something sometimes. Like, God. All right, Nora, how about, where are you from?
Saudi Arabia.
And so say for you, so, okay, when did you first cover?
When I enter middle school.
When you enter middle school?
Yeah,
So,
when I enter middle school, yeah.
like at 12 or so?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what for you? Like, what was your thinking? How were you thinking?
Actually, I know that I will cover, like all my family, like during, like when they enter like middle school, they cover. So I know that I will cover, and I was really excited, like.
You were excited?
Yeah, it was like a new experience, and I know like, yeah, it's a lot of benefit with it. So yeah, I was really excited.
And, okay, all right. And did you, what kind of conversations did you have with both your mom and your dad, or your mom and your grandmom, or who?
No, I haven't. You know why? Because like I know I will wear it. I just like kept asking my mom like what kind of hijab you will give it to me, like what color and this stuff. So I know I will wear it. Like it never happened like the conversation with my mom.
So how is it for you to hear Farah? It's not Farah, it's Farah.
It's Farah.
Farah. Yeah. To hear Farah say, yeah, I'm quite sure I will cover in the future. I'm just not ready right now. How is that for you? Like,
it's optional. She doesn't want to. She doesn't have to, But I want to, so I want to wear it. So yeah.
Uh-huh. So the modesty idea. Can you say more about that? Modesty, or just like what it means for you to cover?
Because all my family are cover up, so like you will be different if you didn't cover up. I don't know, like I say all my family are cover up, so I'm like I want to be one of them,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be part of them. As someone cover wearing hijab,
Yeah, I find that it's no different than so many other cultural like customs that cultures have, in cultures really all over the world. That you get to a certain age and you get, like a tattoo, or you get an earring, or you start wearing heels, or you start, like here in the West, but also in the East, you start wearing makeup. At what age do girls start wearing makeup?
It's like the same as any other girl from any other country.
Yeah, so the same kind of thing, right? So you start wearing makeup, you start thinking about that and how you do it. It's the same thing. It's just that what's different is, in the West, in the United States, we see there are fewer Muslim women or Hindu women or Jewish women or Christian women who cover.
Yeah.
And so it seems like it's really a little bit different. Qatar, right? How do I do?
Kauthar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
How about you? You're from Saudi too, right?
Yeah.
So how about you? When did you first start to, or did you always know that you would?
Yeah, of course. So I started covering up, like wearing the hijab at least from ages like 8 to 9. Like I started to get used to it, like in school and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Were there any girls in your class at that point? How many girls were not covering?
I think like at that age, like at 8 or 9, like maybe mostly like half of them
Uh-huh.
like are not covering yet. They start covering up by like middle school or high school even,
Uh-huh.
or maybe after.
And what are the, I know people are probably wondering, when do you take it off? Like with whom, around whom do you take your hijab off or your scarf?
So around like my father, my uncles, and like future husband, and yeah, that's all.
Uh-huh.
And brothers, of course.
And your brothers. So
Yeah, relatives.
So it would be any woman, right? Like if you were,
Yeah.
like for example, if you went to office hours with a professor who was a woman,
Yeah.
and you knew you were going to be in there for a half hour or so, and the door was closed, would you take it off? Just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to let my hair breathe a little bit. I don't know.
I think maybe it depends, but mostly like no, because I feel like it takes like a long time to like
Yeah.
put it on, like, and I have to like see a mirror and stuff to make sure that it's good. So like no, like I won't take it off because like the effort will be
Uh-huh.
like too much.
Yeah, the way, hey, can you put that last slide up? Yeah, the way, there's so many different styles, right? But like the style that you're wearing right now,
Yeah,
It's
kind of
very-
different.
it's going to be really hard. As opposed to Mariam down here, it's just kind of hanging on your head.
Yeah.
You take it off, you put it on, doesn't really matter. Yeah, I hear that. Is that, how is it for you to be, can you say more about the modesty question?
Like what I think like of it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So actually I was talking with Nora the other day about like what's the meaning of modesty to us
Uh-huh,
like,
yep.
as individuals. So to me, I just think that like covering up, it doesn't have to be like hijab or like the abaya, the long dress. It's just like maybe wearing a little bit like not showing off, not showing off like your body,
Mhm.
like maybe like a t-shirt or like pants, for example. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's, modesty or covering up does not like mean just the hijab, the scarf that you put on your head. It could be just like the thing that you wear.
Okay.
It's how you represent it.
And it's men also, right? In
Yeah.
Islam, it's men. I mean,
Yeah.
men are not, like I would be, like the Taliban would yell at me for having a short sleeve shirt, for example, right? So like long sleeves, you don't see shorts, you don't see men in shorts very much. I've never, like when I've been in the Gulf, so I mean, I've been in the Middle East, I don't know, a dozen times, I mean a lot. And I never see shorts. Even it's hot, man. I was in Kuwait in June. You know how hot it is in June.
They wear shorts, it's just like over the knee.
Yeah, over the knee.
That's how
Yeah,
it should
yeah,
be,
yeah.
but
Yeah, but like the shorts like we would see here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have to like wear like long sleeves. I think like it's fine if they wear.
yeah.
Yeah, you wear short sleeves?
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, Mariam, quickly, for you, when did you first think about, did you only wear hijab because it was kind of more, because Afghanistan's more conservative, or?
Yep. In Afghanistan, when girls like grow up in age, it depends. Like for me, maybe when I was 9 or 10, I was like had to wear hijab.
Yeah,
But like before, I am talking about before Taliban.
yeah.
But for my youngest sister, when like she was in 10, 11, or 12, she was good, even if she like doesn't wear hijab.
Yeah.
It changed by the years, and for me, I think I was like 9 or 10 when I like had to wear hijab,
Yeah.
and because it is part of our culture too.
Yeah.
It is part of culture that women and girls should wear hijab.
You know, it's part of so many cultures that people cover.
Yeah.
Right? In Judaism, wearing the kippah, for example. Like, there's so much covering.
Yeah.
I want to go back to you. When you say, yeah, I see myself becoming, can we say becoming a hijabi?
Yeah.
You say that?
Yeah.
Can you just say more about that? Like what?
Look, it's like I'd never support the idea of someone being forced to wear a hijab, but there is a pro to women wearing it when they're young, because when you're young, you're less consumed by the toxic aspects of the world today. Like
Yeah.
when you care more about your physical appearance and
Yeah.
stuff, so I can.
Than your brain.
Yes.
You care more about your body than your brain. Uh-huh.
Especially now, like when we're more affected by the Western culture.
Yep.
So, like I can admit it is harder to wear it now, like as an 18-year-old, rather than if I would wear it as a young girl, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that like we don't growing up in a land where it's so much about physical appearances. It's about what you look like. It's so important. It's like our brains get colonized by the physical appearance, by this obsession of what we look like, as if that really all we're just spirits inside of these bodies, and we're trying to work it out. So, so when you cover, I'm going to ask, you've never covered. Okay. Yeah, hijab. But when you go to like a wedding or somewhere, are there places you go where you'll wear a scarf?
No, if I don't wear a hijab, why would I wear a scarf for a wedding?
Just as maybe just as a beauty thing, or just something like
No.
my wife sometimes wears a scarf in different ways, right? Okay. So, man, hang on, I had a question. What I just said about what she just said about not focusing. Wait, hang on. We got 1 minute, and I want to get an answer to this question. This is a really when you not being focused on appearance, like we're obsessed by appearance, how does this help with that?
I think like, as you said, like appearance, like how a person can see you.
Uh-huh.
So maybe by that you mean like your style or how you dress.
Uh-huh.
Is that right? So like for me, like I don't think like the hijab's like a barrier to like dress up or like make myself like look good. Like I can like find like any like style that I see that fits me or
Mhm.
fit like my style. So yeah, I think like it depends on the person.
It's all about style. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not stopping me to like dress if I want
Yeah.
to.
No, I feel like for me, it's like I feel like there's so much liberation in it, than just like it's like the male gaze, cutting down the male gaze somehow. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, thanks y'all. Yeah.